Good morning, everybody, it's the Danny Baker Show, radiating out across the airwaves. Come the sunshine or the rain, come aboard the Danny train. We'll kick our slippers off and throw our cares away. What better thing to do than have a jolly jape or two? Don't touch that dial, there's nowhere else to go. Come and join a happy session, wave ta-ta to the recession on the Danny Baker Show. Take it away, Danny.
Thank you very much indeed, Wisby. Now, normal, because earlier on we were saying about built up your old bag, what we shout at the beginning of every show. And people are good enough to ring us as Gerry is today. They don't just arrive with an audible pop when Phil has done his very light editing on the show. And what's that gunshot I can hear? Anyway, but things until for the first time ever, Phil, play everyone what we just went through with Gerry and where he announced where he was and all of that. We're lifting the veil here, everyone. This is how we welcome people aboard during the show's own jingle. Gerry, thank you so much for being there, my friend.
Yeah, good to be here.
Thank you very much. And plenty to discuss in the back there. Plenty to discuss. As
yeah, I'm doing it from the music room, so yeah,
fantastic.
Please, I'm in my husband's wardrobe.
And here we are. And as we said there, Gerry's in his music room. It's a large ballroom with a harpsichord, and what looks like a church pipe organ. It's a huge room. Are you a musician, Gerry?
I've been known to dabble a bit, yes.
There it is. And once again, what might we have known you from? Have you been on any records that people might own out there?
It's unlikely. A few things from the early 2000s.
Such as.
So there was a band, Desolation. Yes, did a little bit, in the kind of early 2000s, and then a kind of indie, kind of punky band, Raven and the Radicals.
And today, like everybody else, you make commercials for Capital Radio. Would that be something you've got to earn a few quid? And that's a substantial array of musical instruments behind you. But what is your forte?
Well, guitar. Guitar's my favoured instrument. I typically get relegated to rhythm guitar, though, whenever I'm playing with.
Do you see, I'm not a musician at all, and neither is Peps. And I've often thought that rhythm guitar sounds like the fellow who's got to do all the, just lay the groundwork. Never mind bass players.
Yeah.
Got to lay the groundwork while his mate goes up there and grimaces and falls to his knees, getting all the applause.
Very much so, yeah. So, I'm okay with that, yeah.
He said that through gritted teeth. We're a heartbeat away from getting names. Anyway, Gerry, I can't tell you how pleased we are to have you with us. Gerry, the first couple of questions come out the first half of the show. Do you have a drawer in your house which has both cling film, tin foil, and also greaseproof paper? Do you have a drawer in your house with those three in?
So no, those items are under the sink in a cupboard. There's not a drawer.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know. You see, already we're getting a good a thumbnail picture of how everyone does all of this. And where are your tea towels?
Tea towels. So there's one hanging on the kind of lip thing of the oven.
But where are the spares?
Those are stored in a drawer.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for taking part in that survey. Everyone from now on gets it. And why are you tugging our coat, Gerry? What's the story?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. Firstly, I wanted to tell you a little tale about door-to-door sales, which you were asking for a few weeks back. So this goes way back in time. I was about 10 years old, and my friend Ross and we come up with this idea of offering a hand car wash service around our neighbourhood.
Okay.
So I guess we must have seen this in some TV show or something. Presumably we needed money for something trivial, and we decided to do this. So it started off really well. We got Ross's dad as our first customer, and then his next door neighbour. And my mum said we could wash my dad's car when he came back from work. So I'm thinking, this time next year we'll be millionaires.
Oh, absolutely. This is like at the end of The Apprentice when they say, you said you'll be earning 25 million this time next year. How are you going to spend that? You've only got 2 cases at the moment. I like Claude when he grills people like that.
Yeah.
Go on, yes.
Yeah, so that's it. Two jobs, one pre-booking. So we refilled our bucket of soapy water, armed with our chamois leathers. We proceeded to walk around the neighbourhood, door to door, offering our services. we didn't get a single other job all day.
Oh,
That seems mean.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Oh,
Well, it is,
you
Gerry,
would
and
take
it-
pity on a couple of 10-year-olds,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
No, but here's the thing, and believe me, I have absolutely no experience nor sympathy with this, but blokes like to wash their cars, don't they? Otherwise, they wouldn't do it so often. I mean, I've never washed a car in my life. I enjoy going through a car wash, but I think if two 10-year-olds knocked on the door and said, "Can we wash your car, mister? I'll give you the money, but don't."
What are you going to
near
wash it with? I know. Yeah.
So you didn't get a single other contract.
Now, granted, a lot of people, a lot of doors we chapped didn't have cars, but we didn't know that.
That's not the spirit, though. I
Didn't really
like
have
your
the-
gumption.
Yeah. So, but we're walking for, I guess, what seemed like hours, probably a couple of hours, taking turns of carrying this rather heavy bucket. And we finally get back to my house, and my dad was home and he was eagerly awaiting us, saying, "Yeah, okay, you can wash the car." But we were knackered. We were too tired after lugging this cubic foot of water around the neighbourhood. so we needed a kind of a rest first. And my dad just kind of laughed at us and said, "Why didn't you just go around the doors and take orders and then return to the ones with a bucket of water?"
Oh.
Do you know what? That's only just occurred to me. I'd be like Laurel Hardy selling fish.
Yeah, well,
it would not occur to me that that's it. You can get the orders, then go back.
Is it this simple logic? It just kind of like cut through us. Just astounded by his lateral thinking. He then told us that this was actually a piece of recycled advice. He'd actually used the same nugget of advice about 25 years earlier. So his twin brother, actually, my Uncle Martin, apparently when he was kind of early teens, he'd got a job selling potatoes door to door.
Oh, he didn't.
He did. So apparently he used to walk the streets of Castlemilk in Glasgow just with a huge sack of potatoes.
Oh no!
By the end of the second day, he was almost crippled.
Wow, but you know what though? Because you'd find that people open the door and go, "Are they any good?" And you can say,
"Well, yeah,
exactly.
Pick your
One or
own
two
from
is
this
some.
bag."
Yes, an instant service.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
And I speak as someone who famously, we put it in the series. My old man got fired from being a rag and bone man. He was the only person in the world who got fired from being a rag and bone man because if you don't know this, Gerry, one of the great perks of being a rag and bone man, and you're allowed it, is when the horse evacuates its bowels, as horses in proper horse and cart rag and bone man does. You're allowed to shovel it up and sell it, and you can keep the bunts.
Right.
And it was a shilling, I believe, in the early 50s. My old man was a rag and bone man, and so he'd say to look for a house with a big garden, say, "Do you need any manure?" And they would say, "Yeah, a bag of manure, shilling." And these were also people who would give them stuff for the rag and bone thing. But my old man thought, there's only so much manure and so many shillings, even if I feed the horse up before we go out. So he started weighting the bags with stones.
Oh,
They looked like they were getting fair measure. Of course, when he went back round that neighbourhood, they said, "Oh, you, I'll have my shilling back." And half stones in that bag. And then they complained to the rag and bone yard. So don't want you coming round our way anymore. You're twisters, as they used to call them. And old man was fired for it. He was fired for being a rag and bone man. I think that's unique.
Astonishing. Yeah.
But you made the jump. Obviously, you shook off that particular failure and became, as we now know,
Well,
melody maker, Paul winner, guitarist of the year.
I did have another claim I wanted to stake for a.
Go on.
Yeah, so the number giveaway. I know I'm a bit late to the.
Doesn't matter. They all remain open. Yes, this is a giveaway, everyone, for new listeners, where you can claim a number and nobody else can have it. But
Okay.
you've got to have a reason for it.
I don't think anyone else is going to have this one. So the number is, stick with me, it's 1 nonillion, 66 quadrillion, 600 trillion and 1.
Yeah, it's gone. We had that 3 weeks ago. Mary, no, go on. Say it again. What is it?
1 nonillion, 66 quadrillion, 600 trillion and 1. So let me
Go on.
break that down for
Go
you.
on.
Okay.
Go on.
So it's a 1 followed by 13 zeros, and then the number 666, and then another 13 zeros, and then a 1.
It's not one of those if you turn it upside down, it says a rude word.
No, nothing like
Okay.
that. So it's known as Belphegor's Prime. So Belphegor is one of the 7 princes of hell. He is the demon of inventiveness. And it's named on account of its rather strange and unsettling qualities. So as I say, it's got 2 lots of 13 zeros. It's got the number 666 in the middle.
Yeah.
It's 31 digits in total, which is obviously 13 backwards. It is a palindrome, so it's the same backwards and forwards.
Brilliant.
It's a rather large example of a prime number. So as you know, prime numbers only divisible by itself in 1. The higher you get, the more unlikely, the fewer are between there. So the symbol for it is an inverted pi, as in the number, not a short crust.
No, I'm come on, you're talking to us now.
So inverted pi. It was first named in the Voynich manuscript. Now, this is right up your street, Dan. This is regarded, it was believed to have been written in the 15th century. It's known as the world's most mysterious manuscript. You could probably do a whole episode.
Oh, I know. I do know this. I do know this manuscript.
It's got a lot of codes and ciphers in it.
It's beautiful, but it's never been decoded.
Yeah, nobody knows what it's about. So.
Nobody knows. No, absolutely.
So it's named in that in the 15th century. There's a story that Ada Lovelace, now Ada Lovelace is one of my heroes, she tried to prove it was a prime number way back when using Charles Babbage's machine, his difference engine.
This is all good.
Yeah. So she actually reported that the machine spun alarmingly as if possessed when she tried to.
Would you want to adopt this number? This is the last one.
Yeah.
With a puff of smoke and an audible pop, you'll be gone. Yeah.
There is actually there's a story online that says it caused the machine to malfunction and this caused her death. That's actually not true. But it wasn't proven to be happily that wasn't true. I wouldn't want it to kill Ada.
With all of this lineage, people are still making up, let's put some more in there that's not true. But yes.
So it wasn't until 1984, and there was an American engineer, guy called Harvey Dubner. He proved it was a prime number. He's actually a kind of master of prime numbers.
You got 1984 in there as well.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. So that's Belphegor's Prime. 1 66 quadrillion, 600 trillion and 1.
That couldn't be better. You started strong and you finished stronger. That's the thing. And I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on. We've already launched at the beginning of the show. Which famous 1960s musician is this falling downstairs? Now, I'm going to play here somebody falling downstairs from a 1960s group. And all you've got to do, because you seem like you're on a roll, you've got to give me a name and I'll tell you if it's right or if it's wrong. So, Phil, play the effect. Okay, now there's all the evidence. The clues are all there. It's a member of a 1960s successful group falling downstairs. Who do you think that was?
Could it be Jack Bruce?
Oh, it's not Jack Bruce. It's not Jack Bruce. But I can see. Play it once more, Phil. Yeah, I can see why you said that was Jack. Yeah, I can. Yeah, well, it's a great guest, Gerry, and you're welcome back anytime, my friend. By the way, that spectacular shirt you're wearing looks like a Norwich City shirt.
Oh, don't be silly, Dan. It's the Glasgow Celtic from the early 90s.
I'm sorry,
I was going to say, right, the next thing is, Danny, what's that football shirt?
No, I could only see the collar, the green collar, and a little bit where you're way down there. Now I see Al Smith on the front and everything. And as we've done that, at least a third of the people listening to this who liked you before I've gone off in. That's the price you pay for wearing a Celtic shirt. But I could only see the green collar and the yellow shoulders, so mine's forgivable as well. Gerry, thank you so much. And an absolutely contribution to the show. And you've virtually taken us up to the end. But a quick one from you, perhaps, if you have it. What you got?